So much like the buyer's information packet, I also have a seller information packet that has been updated and added to and streamlined. It has a lot of information, but I think it's necessary information. It starts off with the same summary of my philosophy of real estate, my experience, a link to my websites, anything so you can check me out before meeting me or talking to me. Then it goes directly into that survey, a specific seller survey this time though, not the buyer's one. It's a little different because you have different concerns when you're selling versus buying, although there are some that are the same. The things that we're anxious about, if we actually answer those first, then the rest is easier. Next, there is an outline of what I will go over in person or on the phone, just depends on our situation. Touches on all of the main parts that we really have to focus on in order for a listing to be successful. And success may look different to each person, but that's what we're getting into. Now, this next one is really fun. It is a lot of data entry that clarifies the situation. I fill in the numbers, I look at the comps, I have my own way of figuring out what your general market value is going to be until I see a house or until we talk further. And it gives you a great idea of what you will net or what you will make as you're selling your house or your property. Also, for those of you that are selling and buying at the same time, I actually have a second chart that actually builds on the top chart that actually tells you exactly what you will have in order to figure out down payment, closing costs of the purchase side. And will actually help you understand how to work your net profit from the sale so that you actually use it to your advantage on your purchase. Because you don't always want to put all of that money down on a new house. You might, but you might not. There might be some other options in there. And I love changing the numbers back and forth and figuring out what your situation looks like and what would be best for you at the time. I also include for y'all a way to search for properties, because a lot of people that are selling their home want to know what's going on around them, what has gone on in the past, and what is coming active on the market. What are they competing with as they're selling their house? I want you to have a way where you're not being tracked by other people, that you can freely look at the current market and see what's going on. I also include a lender information page on questions you need to ask if you're selling a house and buying one. I actually add a couple more questions in there that they may ask you and that you will ask them, because now you've got a transaction contingent upon another transaction. As you can tell, I love the details. Then we have the words of wisdom, very similar to the buyer information packet. And really what happens is, if you want success as a seller, you have to understand how a buyer thinks. And if you want to have success as a buyer, you've got to understand how a seller thinks. And the more we understand both perspectives, the more you will be successful. The next one is a document about preparing your listing well and actively staging your property for the people that are going to be walking through it. I've actually compiled this information from quite a few sources and kind of taken the best of every perspective and given the best general information, but specific, about how to be ready for that day that it goes active and you got people coming through your door. I also, at the end of this packet, include the same thing that was in the buyer's information packet as far as parts of a contract, purchaser's net sheet, the 17 different steps of buying a home, so that you as a seller know what they're facing. And here's the deal. If you're selling and buying, then you're going to be in the same situation. You have two parallel transactions kind of going on at the same time, and I want you to be able to see it from both perspectives. The biggest thing is I always want you to be prepared. It is my job to help you be prepared for every single thing that could possibly come your way. I don't want you to be surprised. I want you to understand the numbers. I just want you to be ready and confident in what you're doing. My goal is to make this as calm as possible, and it doesn't have to be crazy. Like I said before, we're making a wise, powerful decision for our future with no regret at all.